Eastern Friday, taking up a bill tomorrow preventing automatic cuts to Medicare and other federal programs due to the new COVID relief bill. The Senate has been in session today. They approved the nomination of Javier Becerra to be the Homeland Security, to be Health and Human Services Secretary, in the closest vote yet for a nominee of the Biden administration, 50 to 49, and by a voice vote approved the nomination of William Burns to be CIA Director, and move forward the nomination of Boston Mayor Marty Walsh to be Labor Secretary.
So we have currently the vote counts coming in. 64 yay, 74 nays. Let's hear what they got going.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the member designated by Mr. McEachin pursuant to H.R. 8, I inform the House that Mr. McEachin will vote yes on H.R. 6. And as the member designated by Ms. Porter pursuant to H.R. 8, I inform the House that Ms. Porter will vote yes on H.R. 6.
This is H.R. 6, the DREAM Act.
From Florida, seek recognition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the member designated by Mr. Timmons of South Carolina pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Timmons will vote no on H.R. 6.
For what purpose
Sad
does
day
the
for you,
gentleman
Mr.
from Arizona
Timmons.
seek recognition? As the member designated by Ms. Kirkpatrick pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Ms. Kirkpatrick will vote yes on H.R. 6.
Arizona representing in the House. Good job, Arizona. Now we got 74 yay, 79 nays. Let the votes keep coming in. Pile them in, pile them in. Anxious and exciting time that folks have been waiting for years for. We're on the DREAM Act vote right now.
The gentleman from Pennsylvania seek recognition.
Mr. Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. Lawson of Florida, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House Mr. Lawson will vote yes on passage.
That's right. Another yes vote added to the pile. Got the 85 yes, the 84 no.
Illinois seek recognition.
Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Grijalva pursuant to H.Res. 8, I hereby inform the House that Mr. Grijalva will vote yea on H.R. 6.
Así es, Chuy. Dándolo el trabajo para Arizona, diciendo
Gentleman from Michigan
that
seek
we're on the board
recognition.
as well.
Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Peters of California pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Peters will vote yes on H.R. 6.
Beautiful to see the yays coming in. The yays now in the lead, 92 to 86. Keep flowing in, keep flowing in. So DREAM Act had the debate this morning. Right now they're on the vote. They tried to get it back to committee. That lost just a few minutes ago. Then they moved it to a vote of the entire House, and that's what we're seeing right now. The H.R. 6, calling it on C-SPAN here, Undocumented Immigrants and U.S. Citizenship. Let's call it the DREAM Act. How about my friends at C-SPAN there? Change it and throw it down for the DREAM Act. We got some hands. Yes, we are keeping the hands crossed, hoping these bad boys come in and the yays keep piling up. 102 to 92 now. Still absolutely in our favor.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Rhode Island seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Pingree of Maine pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Ms. Pingree will vote yes on H.R. 6.
Get that number counted right there. Keep it going, keep it going. 20 years we've been waiting for a DREAM Act. Got it passed once in the House, didn't pass the Senate. So very important to remember. Passage today doesn't mean it becomes law. Passage today means it can go over to the Senate. Then the Senate has to take it up. Their version of the DREAM Act is slightly different than the version in being voted on right now in the House. Okay?
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Massachusetts seek recognition?
As the member designated by Ms. Meng pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Ms. Meng will vote yes on H.R. 6. As the member designated by Ms. Bush pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Ms. Bush will vote yes on H.R. 6.
There we go. We got another yay vote, 114 to 103. We are pumped up to see that number continuing to grow. Democrats coming in. And how many Republicans have you seen vote yes for the the DREAM Act so far?
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Connecticut seek recognition?
As the member designated by Ms. Wilson pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Ms. Wilson will vote yes on H.R. 6.
There you go, Miss Wilson.
This is the
Love
gentleman
it.
from Ohio seek recognition.
Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. Garbarino from New York, pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Mr. Garbarino will vote nay on H.R. 6.
Come on. Come on, Republicans. Which one of you is going to step it up and say, yay, this is actually an amazing bill, 20 years overdue to get young people brought here at the age of 18 or younger that have been here before January 21 of 2021, that have graduated from high school or enrolled in an accredited GED or secondary education program, that don't have a felony, that don't have 3 misdemeanors, can become conditional permanent residents. That's a vote right now. So what's the vote right now, Randy? Randy, right now we're at 125 in favor, 106 against. So we look at the categories over here. The yay means they're for it, nay against, and not voted yet over here. So these are the votes still to count to be moved over here into this
For what
category.
purpose does the gentlewoman from Massachusetts seek recognition?
As the member designated by Representative Omar, pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Representative Omar will vote yes on H.R. 6.
Absolutely. 127 to 107 now, 128. Let's get it up. Let's get it up. Get it going. So we need the majority. We need the majority to vote in favor to get it over. Basically, we need to win, right? We need to get more votes than they get to send it over to the Senate. Absolutely. Let's get it done. Keep them coming.
Does the gentleman from California seek recognition?
As the member designated by Mr. Carnes pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Mr. Carnes will vote aye on H.R. 6.
Wonderful. Thank you, Representative Gomez. Oh, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. We got a number 1 in the Republican category. Someone with a little bit of courage.
Does the gentlewoman from Kansas seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Allred pursuant to H.Res 8, I inform the House that Mr. Allred will vote yes on H.R. 6. As the member designated by Mr. Cleaver pursuant to H.Res 8, I inform the House that Mr. Cleaver will vote yes on H.R. 6. As the member designated by Mr. Kim pursuant to H.Res 8, I inform the House that Mr. Kim will vote yes on H.R. 6.
Wonderful. Keep them coming, keep them coming. 139 to 110 right now. Still 180 votes outstanding. DREAM Act 2020 in the U.S. House of Representatives. And I have these tabs up here for a reason, folks. The ADAC, I want you to go follow them on Instagram or on Facebook. I want you to volunteer because we are going to have a battle in the Senate. I think it was Representative Stanton, he advocated for both acts. Absolutely. Representative Greg Stanton, great state of Arizona, our former mayor here in the city of Phoenix, where I'm currently at right now, doing great work on the DREAM Act, and I'm sure hopefully on the Farmworker bill as well. Absolutely.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Massachusetts seek recognition?
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker. As the member designated by the Honorable James Langevin of Rhode Island and pursuant to House Resolution 8, I'd like to inform the House Mr. Langevin will vote yes on final passage of H.R. 6, the American Dream and Promise Act of 2021. Thank you.
Keep it coming, keep it coming. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, we've been here before, right? This is a historic moment indeed, but I do want to taper it down just a little bit because we have passed the DREAM Act from the House before, but it's gone over to the Senate and it's not seen the light of day to get out and get to the President's hand to sign.
Gentleman from California seek recognition.
Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Barra pursuant to House Resolution 8,
I inform the House that Mr. Barra will vote aye on
Mhm.
H.R. 6.
So we got a question here. What's the threshold? So a
For what
threat.
purpose does the gentleman from New Jersey seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Donald Payne pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Payne will vote yes on H.R. 6. As the member designated by Ms. Bonnie Watson Coleman pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Ms. Watson Coleman will vote yes on H.R. 6. And as the member designated by Mr. Albio Series pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Series will vote yes on H.R. 6.
There we go, and they're still coming in right here. So for a bill to pass the House, it just needs a simple majority, which just means one more than the other party, right? Or the other people that are saying no. So if all 435 members were there, we need 218. Let's see what we get to here. And again, we have one Republican that's come over. Already in the House, there's more Democrats than there are Republicans. So if we get all the Dems to vote yes, all the Republicans to vote no, we can still get it passed. Encouraging at least to see one Republican with the spine and voting in our favor. But the votes are still coming in. Still over 150 folks that have not cast their ballot just yet, representing their constituents who want to see change. We've been waiting 20 years for this to take place. And I'm excited. I'm super excited. I'm energized. I feel great at the possibility that we have this year, even before the summertime, to get some movement on this. I think of the countless people that I've seen in my office, the family members in tears, afraid that their loved one's going to get deported. In my mind right now, I have images of people that we represent that are in removal proceedings, that are set to go before a judge, and the judge can order them removed. And if this passes, if this becomes law, they get to stay here. They get to stay in the country that they know as their home, the country that they understand and they recognize is where they belong. But what we need here is the federal government to finish the job, pass this bill, get it over to the Senate, and then get it in the president's hands to sign so we can stop people from being deported. People don't realize that, right? People just think, oh, everybody that has DACA is going to get now conditional permanent resident. So, you know, hey, they can already work anyways. What's the big deal? This is huge, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about lives of people who won't be sent back to a country that they don't know. Now, right now, who are in the process of being removed from the country. But with this vote, we can change that. With this vote, the wrongs can be made right. Justice can prevail. People cannot be deported and remain with their loved ones if we get this passed.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Connecticut seek recognition?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Adam Smith of Washington State pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Smith will vote yes on H.R. 6.
Wonderful. Now, see where we're at now. We're at 160. Don't worry too much about the time remaining, the countdown. People will still continue to vote after that. 160 to 125 on the yays, 161, 126. So continue to see the awesome votes coming in. And absolutely, Melissa, praying for a great outcome. We want to see what we know is the right thing to do, what we know is long overdue, 20 years overdue in our country. And I encourage any of you to go back and watch Senator Durbin's speech on the House floor or on the Senate floor when he introduced his version of the DREAM Act, and how many times he's introduced that, how many times he's told stories of dreamers who will be impacted by this bill, because it moves you. Anybody that has any hesitations about the DREAM Act needs to go and watch that. Anybody that has any hesitation about the DREAM Act needs to sit down with someone like Karina Ruiz, who we had on last night from Arizona DREAM Act Coalition, who has risked arrest, who has risked being put in rule proceedings to highlight the fact that we need a DREAM Act, who has spent months in Washington, D.C., taking over congressional offices, talking to representatives and senators to make this a reality. So we absolutely 110% are in support of seeing these numbers continue to come in, and also nice to see another Republican standing up on the side of justice, putting us now at 2 Republicans, 166 total, 128 on the, 128 people that represent this nation are saying no to the DREAM Act. Like that, to me, that boggles my mind, frustrates me to the point of just anger. That I just want to sit down with these folks and ask them, why? Why aren't you supporting young people who feel and understand this is their home, right? Why do you not want them to be here? We heard the arguments earlier. They were saying the border is not secure, and there's a surge now of people coming in, right? All this ridiculous things that they're coming up with that we're going to have to, and Erishmi, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, let's focus on the Senate. Game time, right? Celebration time today as we see the votes continue to roll in, 166 to 129, absolutely. But we need to start getting our game hat on and start getting ready for the Senate. So what about the F3 category and family-based? This bill doesn't mess with the family preference categories or anything. Still a huge weight, gigantic weight for anybody that's waiting to apply through a category, especially if you're from Mexico. But this bill does not affect that at all, either positively or negatively. I guess in theory, if people are able to adjust through the DREAM Act, they might be able to start going through the other ones faster, but nothing directly related to that. Voting impacts lives, most definitely it does. Here we have the fact that we're in control of the House, we're in control of the Senate, we're in control of the presidency, but it's time to put the actions in. Had somebody comment earlier, yeah, that's what we had under Obama first term. Where's the DREAM Act then? So just because we have the numbers, they're continuing, they're growing on our side now, 171 to 131.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Indiana seek recognition?
As the member designated by Mr. Cahaley pursuant to H Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Cahaley will vote yes on H.R. 6.
Thank you, Senor. And so what version of the House is voting for?
Does the gentleman from California seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as member designated by Congressmember Napolitano pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Congressmember Napolitano will vote yes on H.R. 6.
So yes, this is the DREAM Act 2021 H.R. 6. C-SPAN struggling with that title. Who came up with that? Come on. DREAM Act 2021. It includes people who came here at 18 and younger, been here since January 1, 2021. Also, it talks about TPS folks and DED folks as well. So it's a little bit broader than the Senate version. And it's debatable to me, like, hey, which one's better, Senate or the House? I like this one because it keeps it at the age 18 and lower. Where the Senate, it knocks a year off of that. Where it comes to the criminal bars and all the other stuff, there's more. We'll go into the nuances after the vote. The time is up, ding, 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 but the votes will still continue to come in. Now we have 4 Republicans. Well, we have Phil Martinez here, speaking truth to power, saying, who cares anyways, right? F the Republicans. We shouldn't just give them cookies because 4 of them decided they were on the side of justice today. But nonetheless, I want to see every single vote, Republican, Democrat, in support of this DREAM Act. It's absolutely ridiculous. That's taken us 20 years to get to this. We are still, fingers crossed, we're still praying. We are getting happy. Time is done. We've got to get these votes in. 178 to 134, that margin continues to grow. Should you be happy? Should you? Absolutely, Phil, my pleasure. to be able to do this. You know, you don't know exactly when they're going to do the votes. We've been watching very intently and happy that we got it on right now. And again, today is a day to be happy. Today is the day to celebrate every single person that knocked on doors, that made calls, that did text messages, that registered your family. Today is a day to say thank you to you, right? Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your dedication. And the people, I've had the privilege of representing many of them, DACA recipients who took to the streets, protested, marched, advocated, civil disobedience. Despite all the risk you were facing, this is a day to celebrate you, your hard work, your efforts. We're getting it passed in the House of Representatives, and it's getting done. So we celebrate today, 181, 134. Gotta love those numbers. Keep them coming in, keep them coming in. And we work tomorrow. We're gonna have to work harder than we've ever worked for anything else in our life if we wanna do this again. And instead of it being in the House, it's in the Senate. And to see those votes come in the Senate, right? That's where it's going to matter now. But to make that a reality, we're going to put a whole lot of work in, ladies and gentlemen. A whole lot of work. 4 brave Republicans stepping up. We'll see if old C-SPAN gives us those names in a little bit. Let's see. Gerald asks, is there a different probability to get passed between the Senate version and the House's one? I think, you know, if anything, neither one is going to pass completely as written. From the comments that we saw today from the Republicans, they're going to want blood, essentially. Man, they're going to want to chop it up and water it down as much as they can if the Democratic Party is committed to getting the votes of Republicans on board. They're going to have to do some pretty nasty stuff that not a lot of people are going to agree with. That said, the other way Democrats can do that is get rid of the filibuster. You get rid of the filibuster and you don't need Republican support because we have the Democrats that have the majority with the tie break by our vice president. So best thing to advocate for is let's not spend our time trying to get Republicans on board and ruin the bill as much as they can. Let's get rid of the filibuster so we can pass the DREAM Act, either the House version or the Senate version. Right? I'm kind of a favor of a mixture of the two. I want the age in the House version and the inclusion of TPS and DED folks. But I want the very generous waivers of criminal, especially misdemeanors, that's in the Senate bill. Slight differences, but those little differences, those little changes can impact thousands of lives. Let's check in again now we're at 184 to 139. 184, 139, and still a lot of votes outstanding. A lot of votes still. I hope when it becomes law that it would have a current age cap. I mean, the frustrating part, Benny, about DACA is that there's a ridiculous age cap, right? You had to be under 31 on June 15th of 2012. It's like, why? I've met people that are months older than 31 on that date, and they weren't able to get DACA because they were a couple months older. It's just ridiculous. Thankfully, these bills don't have any of those caps on it, so individuals will be able to go ahead and...
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from California seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. DeSaulnier, pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. DeSaulnier will vote yes on H.R. 6.
Absolutely. Another yes vote that we have right now. Keep them coming in. Keep them coming in. Want to make sure that we can get this over to the Senate. Get it over. No, I got a little nervous today, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. I got a little nervous, especially at the last one. We weren't on live yet, but I was watching. They were counting the votes up on whether or not to send it back to committee, and that was getting way too close for me right now. Yeah, 6 Republicans now, Jay points out, are in our favor. We're now at 190 to 143. 190 to 143, so that's great to see as these bills continue with the votes. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, just tuning in, we are talking about the DREAM Act vote happening right now on the floor in Washington, D.C. After this vote, they'll take up the Farmworker bill. And the Farmworker bill will get more yes votes than the DREAM Act bill. I think you'll see more than the 5. Oh, they dropped it. Did they steal a Republican vote there, Jay? We might got to go check in the dumpsters over there to see if they shredded it or what happened. I saw 6 earlier too. Now it's back down to 5. But we definitely got to make sure that we continue to watch this vote closely, as less than 100 now outstanding votes, and we're at 190 to 145. The one after this will be the Farmworker bill. There was Republicans that got up and spoke very good for the Farmworker bill, so I think that will lead to a higher numbers there. Yeah, it went down to 5. I don't know what happened. Someone changed their mind, or someone hit the wrong button maybe. And let's keep the hands, keep the prayers coming. Absolutely. Jay says, thanks for being interested in people at this live. This is support we need from everyone. We need unity. UNITY is absolutely what we need right now, and we need a whole lot of it. We need business community, we need faith community, we need the unions, we need everybody to come out in support of the DREAM Act and to say enough is enough. And what happened, ladies and gentlemen, to that guy in Texas? Remember there was that judge that he took the Texas lawsuit and said, I'll give you a hearing a few days before Christmas, and let's talk about whether or not DACA is legal. And everybody, including myself, was afraid that he was going to issue a decision quick, get rid of advanced parole, get rid of new applications. He's been very quiet. And you want to know why I think he's been very quiet? Because of this. He knows, right? We're now at 192 to 149 in favor of passing the DREAM Act in the U.S. House of Representatives. But he knows if he was to come out and issue that decision against DACA, there would be absolutely no reason that the Senate wouldn't take it up immediately and get us a vote on it.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Tennessee seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Desjardins of Tennessee pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Mr. Desjardins will vote nay on H.R. 6. Thank you.
Well, thanks for wasting our time there. My pleasure, my privilege and my pleasure to be able to take time out of my day and share this with folks. It's a moment that I want to share with community, right? When amazing good things happen, you want to share it. You don't want to just sit in your office and hug yourself. I want to give virtual hugs out there to all, a COVID virtual hug, COVID free, so we can stay safe and healthy and still at the same time watch this historic moment, watch history unfold before us. This is 20 years of hard work, of dedication, of sacrifice from many, many members of the community. This is the result of pain. We have to recognize that, remember that. The number of people who have been deported, some of them we've sat right by in court. We've watched be removed from the country. Very, very painful to see those and experience those things. That if this act had passed sooner, that wouldn't have happened. But we remember all of those folks that have sacrificed and have fought so hard for 20 years, and we thank you and we celebrate you on this day.
Gentlewoman from New Jersey seek recognition.
Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Schneider pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Mr. Schneider will vote yes on H.R. 6.
Wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dreamers dream coming into reality. Happy for them. 100%. Well, we're still dreaming. Remember, this is the House. We got to get past the Senate. All right. That's right, Diego. Let's go. Let's get them in. Keep coming with those. Your time is up, Congress people. Your time is up. Get your vote in. Get it done. We're back up to 6, Jay, on the Republicans, 196 to 162. Numbers are keep coming in, keep coming in. What about the V Visa family base? Please make a video. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. We will, just because of that kind comment, brother, I'll get a video out on the old V Visa. Appreciate that, man. And how many votes are needed to pass in the Senate? So that's the question, right? That's the question. So if the Democrats get a spine and realize we won the election, we have the majority, and they get rid of the filibuster, then we just need a simple majority like we're doing here. But to get over the filibuster, if they keep that ancient relic that was meant to stop the passing of progressive civil rights legislation, then we're going to need 10 Republicans to jump on board. And if we need 10 Republicans to jump on board, we're going to get a really bad bill because they're going to request things. Do I call the House bill perfect? You know, I'm not going to go that far. It's a great bill. It's a positive bill. But when it gets to the Senate, and if we need 10 Republicans to jump on board because the Democrats aren't going to get rid of the filibuster, it's going to be a hard to swallow bill with all the good things that it comes with. It's going to have some nasty things with it. They're going to be focusing on the border, the surge, as they're calling it, making it more difficult for people in the future to fight their cases. I mean, they're going to want all, Trump's wish list, probably reforming family-based visas, probably getting rid of those. So it's not going to be a pretty sight. So we need to get rid of the filibuster so we can have the simple majority and get this version or the Senate version of the DREAM Act passed. All right. 199 to 163. So what are my thoughts on the U.S. Citizenship Act 2021 coming to the House and Senate in April without filibuster? Everybody I've talked to, man, unfortunately, and we're talking about the overall 11 million people bill that is unbelievable. It is so awesome. I mean, it has so many great things in there. Even hearing from Democrats now that it's just not going to happen. It's dead on arrival. The most that we're going to hope for this year is what we're seeing today, is the Dreamer bill, is the Farmworker bill. I hope I'm wrong, but that's all the chatter that I'm hearing. That's all that I'm hearing right now. So hopefully they can make that happen. Can the Senate use reconciliation to pass the DREAM Act? I think they're going to have to pass their own version first to use that, but I'll look more into that.
Does the gentleman from Virginia seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as member designated by Mr. Blumenauer pursuant to H.R. 8, I inform the House Mr. Blumenauer will vote yes on H.R. 6. As the member designated by Mr. Liu pursuant to H.R. 8, I inform the House Mr. Liu will vote yes on H.R. 6. As the member designated by Mr. Lowenthal pursuant to H.R. 8, I inform the House Mr. Lowenthal will vote yes on H.R. 6. As the member designated by Ms. Barragan pursuant to H.R. 8, I inform the House Ms. Barragan will vote yes on H.R. 6. As a member designated by Ms. Moore pursuant to H.R. 8, I inform the House that Ms. Moore will vote yes on H.R. 6.
So after today, when we know for the Senate, we don't have an actual timeline, right? They don't tell us when they're going to take it, if they're going to put it in committee, which committee.
Does the gentleman from North Carolina seek recognition?
As the member designated by Mr. Bishop of Georgia pursuant to H.R. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Bishop will vote yes he will vote yes on H.R. 6. As a member designated by Mr. Hastings of Florida, pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Hastings will vote yes. He will vote yes on H.R. 6.
There we go. Got more yeses coming in. So the Senate will decide what they want to do with the bill when it gets there. They don't have any time frame that they have to or anything, whenever they want.
Recognition.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. Gates of Florida pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Gates will vote no on H.R. 6. Good talk.
Well, he made a statement with that jacket, too.
Recognition.
Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Axney pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Ms. Axney will vote yes on H.R. 6. As the member designated by Ms. Slotkin pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Ms. Slotkin will vote yes on H.R. 6.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Florida seek recognition?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As a member designated by Mr. Buchanan of Florida, pursuant to House Resolution Number 8, I inform the House that Mr. Buchanan will vote no on H.R. 6.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Florida seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Wasserman Schultz pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Ms. Wasserman Schultz will vote yes on H.R. 6.
Wonderful, wonderful.
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Illinois seek recognition?
As a member designated by Mr. Rush pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Rush will vote yes on H.R. 6. As a member designated by Mr. Moulton pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Moulton will vote yes on H.R. 6.
There we go. 40 votes outstanding, 212 to 178, ladies and gentlemen. There's a filibuster, a bad political move. I heard it could increase the division. Good question and valid point, but man, is our nation ever been less divided as far as Republicans and Democrats and how far off we are in things? Look at, right now we have 9 Republicans voting yes on this very, very simple bill of helping kids, people who are brought here as kids and have to pass a background check and have to take the civics exam, have to do all this stuff, and we only get 9 Republicans on board right now. Bottom line is, if we spend our time trying to get the Republicans on board, we're going to have a watered down bill that not everybody's happy with, and who knows how many millions of people they're going to take out of even being able to qualify for that. So my opinion is we have to get rid of the filibuster. We have the majority. Don't know when we'll have it again. Now's the time. Pass a law, get it done. Wasserman Schultz, I'm not sure if it's the same person as before, but I do know, Sam Curtis, that we're down to 19 outstanding votes, and it is a pretty strong 226 to 187, which means even a Hail Mary and all 17 votes going to the nays still means we win. So, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. The U.S. House of Representatives has voted to approve the DREAM Act. We are here in 2021 in this historic moment. Let's celebrate. Let's be happy. Pat yourself on the back. Congratulate yourself. Congratulate all your friends and family members that have worked so hard for so many years on the Dreamer issue, on immigrants' rights, on the rights of those who care about social justice, those who are from border communities. A wonderful day, a day of celebration and jubilation. But let's remember, it's the first part of the battle. The war is not won. The battle has been won. Today we win it in the House of Representatives. Then we got to go to the real battlefield, which is the United States Senate. Each state has 2 senators. We need you to commit, to call, to text, to lobby to get involved in direct action, whatever it takes, so that the Senate takes this up immediately and the Senate passes this. So we'll have a real party then. COVID will be over, hopefully. Everybody will be healthy and happy. We get it past the Senate, then we can do have more than a virtual party. We can have a real person party then. All right. Jine jumped on board. Yep. There you go. That's amazing to see. Yes, it is. That's right. Yep. One down. That's the attitude, Nancy. That's what I like. Step one. I love that. Instead of this battle of men with our masculinity, battlefields in war, how about a step? Step one's done. Now we're going to step two. Now we got to go there and take, I'm going to say the word again, battle, and take the battle to the Senate. I just can't get it, just too hyped right now, folks. We got to get it. We got to get it now. We got to get it this year, 2021. We can't let this opportunity pass us by as we did under the first term of the Obama administration, where we got it past the House and it didn't do anything in the Senate. So a day to celebrate, a day to be happy. Now we're at 226 to 194. 10 votes outstanding. The votes continue to come in, and we're here with you to the end. Someone got to tell Maritza what's going on. Maritza, we got some good news for you. The United States House of Representatives has passed the DREAM Act. The DREAM Act has been passed, which means it can now go to the United States Senate. They can take it up there. If they make any changes to it and they pass it, then it comes back to the House again. So we're still a long way off from any opportunity to apply for anything, from any benefits, but it's a huge, huge first step. Absolutely. A gigantic first step. 6 votes outstanding, 227 to 197. This is your United States Congress, ladies and gentlemen, passing the DREAM Act in 2021. How will this impact you? How will this change your life? I'd love to hear it. Feel free to drop it in the comments. Send me a DM if you don't want to. As much as we get on here and share our pains and share our miseries when we have a defeat, I love to share victories. And if anybody has their story about how the DREAM Act's going to make your life better, I would love to hear it. Feel free to drop it in the comments, send me a DM. But more importantly, you know who needs to hear it? Is the senators. Contact your senator, tell your story. You can get involved with the Arizona DREAM Act Coalition. They're going to continue to do trainings on how to reach out to senators, how to mobilize to make sure we get this passed in the Senate as well. We're now at 227 to 197, still waiting for those 6 votes to come in. Absolutely, my privilege to be able to share this amazing news with our community that for the past 4 years, we've just taken an absolute beating. I mean, the Trump era, what they did to our community, what we had to suffer through and live through, and to get to this point, it's just such a 180-degree turn to be able to say we got the DREAM Act passed in the United States House of Representatives. Thank you so much for the share. Always appreciate that, Prima. Hope all is well. Oh my gosh, look at this. I'll go back to medical school and make more money. I think if that's not the American dream there, to go on and continue your education, to improve your life for yourself, for your loved ones, that's what it's all about. And that's what we have to remind people. They're real human beings that have real stories up here. And now it's freezing on me. They're like, you've been watching for too long, man. Are you still there? Yeah, we're still here. We're pumped up and we're excited about today. What do you mean, are we still here? We're still watching. We're still jamming. Get it back on. Come on, C-SPAN. This is it. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Are we still watching? Better believe it. We don't want to look at doors. We want to look at the votes. 227 to 197. Let's go. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Thank you. Even your time to share your knowledge with community is so valuable. I appreciate that, man. I feel privileged I got to go to law school. I feel privileged I got to get in court and throw down with the U.S. government, with ICE, Border Patrol agents, DEA, all that good stuff. So whatever I can share with the community, so many people help me on this journey, I'm honored to be able to do it. Thank you for being so welcoming to us all and sharing what you know with us. The same, thank you. Really appreciate that for showing the love. Belem, that's awesome. And again, to me, it is absolutely my privilege to be able to do this, to be able to share what I've been able to acquire in my career with all y'all. Did it already pass the House? Essentially, it did, right? There's still 5 votes outstanding. That young gentleman there from California is going to get back on pretty soon, going to do the official tally of the vote, and he'll say that it passed. Haven't gotten to that just yet. They're waiting for these 5 slackers who happen to be Republicans. Coincidence? Maybe. But the votes are there. The votes are officially there.
On this vote, the yeas are 228. The nays are 197. The bill is passed.
That's it. That's it. That's
Without
it.
objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Negative. Passed. We're ready to go. Get it over to the House. Get it over there now. In 19, came here when I was 13, have a high school diploma, just waiting on the DREAM Act. Your wait is almost over. We've got to pass the House. Let's put that work in, get it past the Senate. Another med school. Someone else going to go to medical school. Share it with your senators, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some doctors that are waiting to perform surgery, waiting to save lives. Let's get this DREAM Act passed. Pumped up. Pumped up. Yes. Yes. Yes, Myrtle. That's a hole-in-one there, Myrtle. Slam dunk.
For what purpose does the young lady from California seek recognition?
Get you this in a
Mr.
second.
Speaker, I ask unanimous consent to speak out of order for 1 minute.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's great pride that I rise to recognize the outstanding service of an esteemed member of my staff, known and respected by all here, our Deputy Floor Director, Latrice Powell. In her 13 years,
Look, they're like, job done.
Has become synonymous
Job
with
done. We're ready to move
leadership
on.
and institutional
Love
expertise.
it. Love
We
it.
all know her
Congratulations,
as a maestro of the floor,
Ms.
masterfully
Pelosi,
directing legislative procedures,
Speaker
and voting
Pelosi,
schedules, all
on
while
getting this
anticipating and
done,
managing the needs
on
of our
getting the
diverse
bill
caucus.
passed.
Indeed, her skills as a
They're ready to move on. They're like, hey, we did our job. We did our job, ladies and gentlemen. The U.S. House of Representatives has passed the DREAM Act. All right? Let's see what we got here. Keep the comments coming, folks. Yep. Yeah, somebody told me Bezos is actually supporting this, right? I hope he is. That'd be pretty awesome. Somebody says somebody will be able to meet their parents after 13 years, right? Love that. When's it go in the Senate? When they send it. Speaker Pelosi was there speaking right now. She's going to decide when she sends it over to the Senate, hopefully soon. All right. Keep it coming. Keep it coming, folks. Absolutely. All right, folks. Explain what's next. I can do that. So what's next, Erica, is this now is a passed bill in the House of Representatives. The Speaker of the House now has it on her desk, and she can decide when she takes that over to the Senate. And when it gets over to the Senate then decides, all right, we're going to assign this to a committee. We're going to explore this, see if we like it, maybe make some changes, some amendments to it, see if we make it better. Republicans are going to try to make it worse. Then it has to get out of the committee. Then once it gets out of that committee, it goes back to the floor like we were here, where they'll do debates on it. and then they'll ultimately, hopefully, take a vote on it. We don't know the timeline. It could be, with the COVID relief bill is an extreme example, right? But that was like pass the House to the Senate, pass the Senate, signed by the president. Now you got your checks in your bank account. I don't think the DREAM Act's going to move that fast. This one was able to move fast in the House because it already passed before. So they were able to get it on without going to a committee, go straight to the floor, get the vote, now to the Senate. The process will slow down in the Senate, but that gives us time to mobilize. That gives us time to act. That gives us time to tell our senators that we want to get rid of the filibuster, we want to pass the DREAM Act, we want to get that done now. All right? So I had some other folks saying, well, what is the difference? What's the difference between the Senate bill, between the House bill? So let's just do a little overview real quick. Again, reason to celebrate, we have passed the DREAM Act in the House, an overview of the DREAM Act and what's the difference between the one in the House and the one in the Senate. Let's get that up right here. We have the Senate version's 264, which has not been debated on, which has not been voted on. What got passed today was H.R. 6, which you could have been 18 years or younger when you first came in. The Senate version is 17 years or younger, so a lot of people who came when they were 18 would be left out if the Senate makes a change like that. You only have to have been here since January 1 of 2021. The Senate bill has 4 years prior to enactment. So sometime if it happens this year, back in 2017. It's a longer term of the conditional permanent residence. And here's where we get down to the nitty gritty. It's boring abogado stuff here. But this is the stuff that gets me really in tune to it because this is what I do on a daily basis, the criminal and immigration. And to me, the big one here is 3 or more offenses in the Senate with an aggregate of 90 days in jail, whereas the House version that I read is just 3 or more misdemeanors, which I don't like. Nonetheless, these are the difference between the two bills. Now it'll go over to the Senate, and now it is our job, it is our responsibility to push this so that we can get it past the United States Senate. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we want to do today. I thank everybody for joining us. Questions, comments, concerns. Miss Lisa Ross, very famous attorney, great state of Mississippi. Can you explain the President's executive order on immigration, how it impacts individuals who are charged with unlawful entry or use of false identification to work? Congratulations, Ms. Ross, on your great representation of those individuals arrested by ICE in the raids that happened in your state. Now, we are seeing some nice movement on the legal reentry cases and people getting their cases analyzed by ICE and possibly being let go because they don't fit a priority, which is nothing that I expected. I didn't think that was going to happen. I really didn't think they were going to go to illegal reentry cases and take a look at those and see if any of these individuals fit the priorities and whether or not they should be released. But we are seeing that happen. Whether or not we see it continue to happen, but the executive order, essentially what it was these are what my priorities are, right? So I'm going to do a whole separate video on that. I'll tag you on it, but I want to go over each of those priorities individually, and we'll make sure to let you know when that gets out. All right? And of course, ladies and gentlemen, always a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you for your time, for your energy. Now let's get to the Senate. Well, how do I get involved? Mr. Attorney, I don't know. I've never called a senator before. Well, guess what? We got resources for you. You can go to the ADAC. You can follow them here. You can click on this form. It takes you over here. You put in your name, your email, your phone number. Click. They're going to train you on how to reach out to senators. I don't know how to use a form. I don't have Instagram. There's the phone number. You got a phone. Your mama's got a phone. Someone's got a phone. Borrow their phone and call that number. You got an email. Use that email. I want to help. I want to get involved. I want to create the change that we need. I can't stress enough that the world doesn't exist simply by itself as we know it. We wake up every morning and we create the world over and over and over every day. When you wake up one day and it's Saturday That's your mindset that says, it's Saturday. I'm going to be joyous and pumped up. When you wake up and it's Monday and you say, oh, I have to go to work, that's your mindset that's saying that. Politics really isn't that different. You wake up in the morning and you decide, I want to be involved. I want to create change. I want to make change. You find other people that are the crazies in the world. Other people see them as crazy, and they say, I want to be involved. I want to make change. I want to get things done. You get together, you push, you pressure, you call, you mobilize, the change happens. Don't be a passive observer. Don't just wait for something to happen in the U.S. Senate. You go and make it happen. Go, reach out today, Arizona Dream Act Coalition, get involved. Let's have that big party after you put in the work, after you grinded, after you did everything you could to make sure this gets passed in the Senate. Then we'll celebrate. See y'all soon.